Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome to another LBA match. So this week is week number 11. Yeah, week 11. So we have 2 weeks left before playoffs. I'm 8-2 right now, so I'm pretty much I am guaranteed a spot in playoffs, which is neat. But I still want to win my games because I like winning and it's fun and stuff. Okay, so this week we're going to be taking on the Leinster Latias, coached by eoin. He was previously coached by a different team, but it was coached by Bogut, but he's way too busy for life. So yeah, he made a bunch of changes to his team, and it's Espeon, Skarmory, Raikou, Latias, Mega Charizard X, Tornadus, Therian, Heracross, Tangrowth, Alomomola, and Chansey. Now, I haven't changed anything on my team from last week, so yeah, and I decided to drop some notes on my mons and what I thought about each of them for this one. So right off the bat, I noticed that he has a lot of stuff that is good against my team. The only things that are unlikely to come, in my opinion, are the Latias and the Espeon, since my team fares extremely well against psychic types that can't get Focus Blast. So like everything but Alakazam. So I definitely think everything has a chance of coming against me. Now, some of the notes I put are, I didn't think Manaphy was going to be very good in this game because it gets walled it threatens his team, but it gets threatened pretty hard by stuff like Raikou and Tornadus and Latias if he chose to bring it. So I was kind of hesitant to bring it, even though it would break through his defense. He also has the ability to bring like a AV Tangrowth, which can take a +3 Ice Beam. Next, Excadrill. It gets walled out really hard, but a Spadef Excadrill set is actually really nice because it stops Raikou, which is something that would be nice to prevent Volt Switch and surrendering initiative. Sylveon is really good in this matchup. Entei is pretty good in the matchup, but he has Alomomola and Charizard X, which both can chew Sacred Fires without having to think about it too much, so I didn't bring it. Mega Medicham is really threatening, but he has a lot of annoying bulk things that would be hard for it to break down, especially since I have to rely on High Jump Kick, and it's most likely that he'll be packing something like Alomomola with Protect, and I don't want to play those mind games. And also, Skarmory can be annoying because it can take a hit, and then he has a bunch of stuff that outspeeds it, like Tornadus and Raikou, which I were both expecting. Serp is really nice in this game if I can get rid of Torn, and maybe Chansey if he brings it. Crobat's not that great, but it could be good as a Super Fang pivot thing to make sure that he's not regenerating much. Banded T-Tar is really nice in this matchup. He doesn't have a rock resist. Klefki is pretty nice because it gives me an extra check to stuff, and Galvantula is really good because he has no electric immunities, so I can Volt Switch everywhere, and also it breaks apart his Tangrowth Alomomola core, which is cool. So if you can't guess the 6 I brought, here they are. I got Sylveon, Tyranitar, Serperior, Klefki, Galvantula, and Excadrill. So first thing I wanted to bring was Free to File my Sylveon, and I am packing leftovers with Calm Mind, Hyper Voice, Wish, Protect, Max HP, Max Attack with 4 and Special Attack with the Bold Nature, and I could have zeroed this out, but he doesn't have any Foul Play users. So yeah, defensive Sylveon is super good against his team, especially with Calm Mind, because a lot of ways that people try and check Sylveon is through things like Assault Vest Tangrowth, which cannot beat a Calm Mind Sylveon because it's fat, and then it just boosts up. Also gives me a check to Latias, gives me a check to Raikou, checks Espeon, depending if he specs or not. Specs Psyshock probably just 2-hit KOs me. Gives me a Tornadus check, and really important, it is a really good switch into Heracross, which nothing else on my team takes on Heracross. So this thing is super important because it just beats his team. He has very little that can kill it, and it can just Calm Mind and win, which is really cool. So this thing was definitely one of the more important members of my team. Next thing, like I talked about, Choice Banded Tyranitar goes in hard on his team, and should have messed up my EVs for some reason, but I genned my team, so it was not 96 attack investment. Sure, that's just stupid. So yeah, Banded Daidara just goes ham on his team. He doesn't have a rock resist, and with Sandstream, Stone Edge, Pursuit, Crunch, Superpower, 172 HP, 252 attack, Adamant with 84 in speed, this thing just puts so much pressure on his team, especially if I have rocks and spikes up. Then his things that would normally switch in are less good at switching into the thing. But this thing just goes in really hard on his team. If he brings more offensive team and I paralyze things, then this thing just comes in and wins, which is cool. Overall, Tyranitar is just a really big threat to his team. It's Pursuit traps the Lottie or Espeon if he brings it, which I didn't think he was going to bring either of them because my team is super good against them, but he always could. Yeah, no rock resist. He does have a lot of fat stuff, but if I have those hazards up and if I can toxic stuff like the Alomomola and the Tangrowth, then they're much less good at switching in, and Skarmory gets to it KO'd after rocks from a Banded Stone Edge, and the speed investment is to outrun a Skarmory. So yeah, Tyranitar can put in a lot of pressure on his team, and Superpower is just there for Chansey, because this is like my only way to kill Chansey, which might have been bad prep. But next thing I got is Sneaky Sneck, my superior. Running an Expert Bell with Contrary, Leaf Storm, Dragon Pulse, Hidden Power, Electric, and Glare with 20 in HP, 248 special attack, and 240 in speed with the Timid Nature. That's going to let me outrun Espeon and Latias, and this thing does a lot of damage against his team. One of his main defensive mons, Alomomola, just gets shot on by this thing. Skarmory gets shot on. If I get to +2, then an HP Electric's going to hurt. I have Glare on this just because Torn T is such a good switch in, and if I paralyze it, then if I paralyze it and get rocks up and maybe get a little damage on it, then the next time it tries to switch in, I can potentially 2-hit KO it with Leaf Storm plus HP Electric. So that was kind of my plan, to lure that thing in. And Glare is just nice because unless he brings Chansey, he doesn't have a Cleric, and paralyzing stuff is nice. Originally I had HP Fire, but I changed it to Electric so that I could hit the Tornadus harder. In hindsight, I probably could have just stuck with HP Fire, but I stand with my decision. So yeah, this thing is my win condition more or less, because once his team is slowed down, and if I get a free switch in on something like Alomomola, then I can just clean his team with Leaf Storm plus coverage, and Dragon Pulse is there because I need to hit Char X for damage. So yeah, this thing puts in a lot of pressure. Next thing, I got my Klefki with Light Clay, Prankster with T-Wave, Reflect, Light Screen, Spikes. Now it's kind of risky to run no attacks, but I really wanted all of these things on Klefki, so T-Wave's there because I want to be able to emergency check the Charizard by paralyzing it. I thought that Reflect and Light Screen would be really handy in this match because it would let me set up with my Sylveon even better, and then just sweep his team, which would be rad. And then Spikes are great because if I get rid of his Skarmory or he's not packing Defog on anything, then Tyranitar and Superior and Galvantula put in a ton of pressure on his team because the Spikes and Rocks damage hurts. So yeah, I'm just packing max HP in Spadep, so this thing was also there so that I could throw it in against a Torn and chew up a few Hurricanes and make sure it's not breaking my whole team down. Obviously a Heat Wave's going to hurt, but I have Light Screen and I do have Wish on my Sylveon, and Wish is going to be very helpful if I want to keep this thing alive. But if he doesn't bring things like Tornadus and Latias, then it's a lot more expendable because those are the main things it's meant to check. So if I can just throw up a Spike or get some screens up, that would be neat. If I let it die afterwards, that'd be fine. So yeah, this thing just meant to check a few things and be annoying. Next thing, got Young Webs, my Galvantula, and I'm running the Expert Belt Galvantula with Thunder, Bug Buzz, Volt Switch, Hidden Power, Ground, with 60 in HP, 252 special attack, and 196 in speed. Now this thing does a lot of damage against his team. I hit his I hit his entire team super effectively, minus Heracross and Chansey. And I still hit Heracross with a Thunder, which is going to hurt, and Chansey I can't touch anyways. So yeah, this thing puts in so much pressure on his team. Expert Belt Thunders really hurt his team, and the combination of Thunder plus Bug Buzz just shreds his Tangrowth Alomomola regen core. He has, and Skarm also just gets wrecked by an electric move. He does not have any electric immunities, so with the fact that if I can get spikes up, then I can go ham on the volt switching and just get a lot of damage and put a lot of pressure on his team and get a lot of switch initiative, which would be pretty rad. So this thing just does a lot of damage. I originally had Sticky Web over HP Ground, but I won HP Ground so that I could hit the Raikou and the Charizard for super effective damage. Sticky Web could have been helpful, but I didn't think I needed it because I had plenty of T-Wave support, and I thought I had adequate switch-ins to all of his or checks to all of his mons. So yeah, this thing just puts in a lot of work on his team because he really doesn't have very many good switch-ins to it, and those good switch-ins, aside from Chansey, can get bopped by an HP Ground. So yeah. Lastly, got Excadrill, which I'm running a specially defensive Excadrill, which Showdown is messing up all my EVs, but don't worry, they were fine for the match. So, that just bothers me though. So yeah, I'm running specially defensive Excadrill because I really wanted something to block Raikou from being annoying. So I'm packing Leftovers, Mold Breaker with Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin, EQ, and Toxic, max HP, max Spadef, and 4 in attack. With the Careful Nature. So this thing I can just throw in front of Raikou and it doesn't care about anything. I don't think even Aura Sphere to it KOs this thing because it's just so bulky. Spadef Excadrill is really nice in this matchup because it stops Latias if he brings it, even though I have a ton of Latias checks on this team, so this might not be my primary switch-in, so I can save it for Raikou. With Wish supports from Sylveon, I can keep this alive for a while if I want to do that. I can pull off a bluff Choice Scarf because I don't think he'd expect me to run Spadef Excadrill when Scarf could be decent. Also, this is something that just kind of switches into Skarm and sits in front of Skarm because Skarm can't touch me and I can't touch it, but it produces a stalemate so that nothing bad can happen to me, where I can set up rocks on it, I can spin for days, and it can't touch me in the slightest unless he's packing the Lordly Natural Gift Fighting or something like that, but that's unlikely. But yeah, this thing just nice to sit in front of things, can take a hit from Torn and Toxic it in an emergency, though it would have been kind of nice to have Rock Slide to hit the Torn. I opted against it because Toxic is really good so that I can hit the Tangrowth and the Alomomola for that nice damage so that when they switch in onto things like Tyranitar, they get blown back because the Toxic is making it so that my Stone Edges are 2-hit KOs along with Hazards. So yeah, Hazards are really nice in this game, Toxic is nice in this game, Paralysis is nice in this game. If he doesn't bring Chansey, then it's going to be Christmas, and the 6 that I expect him to bring more or less are, I know Raikou's coming, I know Charizard's coming, I know Tornadus is coming, Heracross, and Alomomola, and the last one will likely be either Tangrowth or Chansey in my opinion. So that's the team that I was prepping for. And I did feel like I had checks to Espeon and Latias, which were the two things I knew that were not coming unless he had some funky stuff going on. So yeah, that's the team, and let's get into the battle. Alright, so right off the bat, I see his team, and I don't see Tornadus. That is huge. So the 6 he brought, Raikou, Charex, Skarm, Heracross, Alomomola, Tangrowth. I am ecstatic about this matchup. I know that I can win right away with this team matchup because 1, Galvantula drives over his team. 2, it's pretty obvious what his sets are going to be. That's most likely a Scarf Heracross because he has no way of outspeeding and doing damage to Serperior outside of Raikou with his team, so I definitely thought that was going to be a Scarf Hera. I also really wish that I did end up sticking with Hidden Power Fire, and my sinuses are being weird, so it's like messing me up. But yeah, right away I know that I don't want to allow Charizard a turn 1 lead to fuck up my team, so I'm gonna lead Tyranitar so that I can block Charizard from being a menace, and also I can fire off the Stone Edge if he does lead with that. He is gonna lead with Heracross though, which is fine, as I do lead with T-Tar. It's totally fine because I have the very easy switch in into my Sylveon, and he can beat Sylveon 1v1 with Heracross if he is SD Facade with Toxic Orb, But the thing is, he's not going to be that set because he has to be Choice Scarfed, and if he's not Choice Scarfed, then it's way more easily revenged by my team. So I'm just going to drop in Sylveon, as he does go for the close combat. That's not Choice Banded damage, I'm just assuming that it is Choice Scarfed. So now I like this matchup because he can't do anything to me, and more likely than not, he is just going to switch out into something that can take this on, like Charizard or Skarmory or Tangrowth or something like that. So I'm going to pull the double, as he's going to go into his Skarm, and I'm going to go out into my Galvantula, because I was expecting something like this or Tangrowth to come in. So now this is a great matchup for me, because now I can just get off a Volt Switch and do a ton of damage. But he shows he's Scarf Skarmory, so it's not going to kill me because of my bulk investment, and I'm going to be able to knock him out with the Volt Switch. So I got rid of that, which was, I guess, his trap card for Superior, I guess. But that's huge. I get rid of Skarmory, so now he has no way to get up hazards, and he has no way to get rid of hazards. So I'm going to go directly into my Klefki, because I want to get a spike up here. And by going into Klefki, it forces in his Charizard, but the thing is, he cannot set up a Dragon Dance in front of a Klefki. And if he does, then what I'm going to do is just get up a spike right away, because I think that's extremely important, because he's not going to set up the Dragon Dance. There's no way he sets up Dragon Dance in Klefki's face, because I can paralyze it. So I'm just going to go for the spike and going to let my Klefki die. I guess I could have set up a Reflect, but even behind Reflect, I still died to Flare Blitz, so I'm going to let my Klefki go down, as this is the third Char X I've faced this season, by the way. As now, this thing is a problem because I don't have anything that can outspeed it and kill it right away. So I'm going to pull a bluff, and I'm going to go into my Excadrill and bluff that it is a Choice Scarfed Excadrill. And by doing this, I'm going to force him out and set up my rocks. So if he doesn't buy the bluff, then I'm going to lose my Excadrill, and I'm going to be in a shit position. But he does buy it, because I thought he would. And he's going to go into his not Tangrowth, which was I think he's making fun of me because I named my Tangrowth that in one of my games for GPC. But I set my rocks, so he knows that he just got, which is cool. Well, he doesn't know that I'm not Scarfed yet, but here I'm just going to drop a Toxic on this thing, because it is a switch into Tyranitar, and I want to obliterate those things, because if I can Toxic this, and I can Toxic his Aloe, then he has no good switch-ins to T-Tar. So I'm going to Toxic him, and he's going to get the knockoff on me, which is okay, I guess. It would have been nice to have my lefties, but now I have to switch out. I can't touch this thing, and I don't want to take any sort of extra damage, because I need this to check Raikou. So I'm going to go into Sylveon, because Sylveon is very easy to switch in against this Tangrowth, because I'm assuming it's Assault Vest, and I'm assuming it's bulky, like not offensive. So he's going to go for the Leaf Storm, and that doesn't do that much considering it's a Leaf Storm on a no Spadef Sylveon. Now here I'm extremely free to go for a Wish. There's nothing he can do to kill me. So I want to get my Sylveon back up to full, because it's the most important member of my team. So I'm going to throw up a Wish, and he's going to go for the Poison Jab, and he crits me. So that's really, 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 really fucking bad. That's terrible, because now I have nothing for his Heracross, which absolutely sucks. So now here I'm going to be able to go into my Galvantula, though I can kill this thing with a Bug Buzz and then get back a ton of health with the Wish. But the thing is, now I am in a terrible spot, because Heracross is just going to destroy my team. So that crit absolutely makes this game really hard to win without hacks against his Heracross, which sucks. So I'm just going to go for the Bug Buzz, and it's going to kill this thing. I get a crit, it doesn't matter, because I'm Expert Belt, and there's no way it would have lived. So I'm going to get the Wish back and come back to full, but now it just goes into Heracross, and all I can do is hope that he overpredicts and goes for close combat on the Excadrill, which would be the only thing that can switch into a Mega Horn on my team. So I have to hope that he either overpredicts and doesn't go for Stone Edge, or misses a thing, but he goes for Mega Horn and kills me, proving that he is Choice Scarf. So now I'm going to go into Excadrill. It's the only thing that can take a Mega Horn, and now I have to pull some sick doubles, as I'm going to pull the double out into my Superior, predicting the Alomomola. And basically I have to double around this thing and hope at some point it misses an attack, because I'm in a very bad situation and I can't win unless its Heracross misses a Mega Horn or it over predicts and allows me to kill it. So I have to play aggressively. I have to pull sick doubles and all that kind of stuff, as he's going to drop an Alomomola, as I can just go out into my Superior, and I'm going to drop a Leaf Storm on this thing, as I do get that right, which is cool. So I am still playing better, but that crit absolutely just killed me pretty much. But I have a chance as long as he can miss a Mega Horn. So here I'm just going to drop a Leaf Storm. If he wants to go into Tangrowth, then I should be able to just deal with it by Leaf Storming a few times and killing it with stuff. But he's just going to make the smart play and fodder off his Charizard. As I go for Leaf Storm, doesn't kill him. And there's no point Leaf Storming, risking the Leaf Storm miss again. I'm just going to go for Dragon Pulse and knock him out. So down goes the Charizard, but what this does is it lets in Heracross again. So now I have to go into Excadrill because I need this thing to win, because at this point, if I lose my Superior, then I can't beat his Alomomola. And if I can manage to get rid of Heracross, then I can easily beat Alomomola and Raikou. It's not a problem. Did I say earlier that Tangrowth could switch in? I did. Yeah, Tangrowth was dead. I had a brain fart. So here I have to go into Excadrill and hope that either he can't KO me or he misses, which he's going to go for Mega Horn. It's obviously a 2-hit KO, and he lands, of course. And now I have to hope he misses, and I'm just going to go for the EQ. There's nothing else I can do, as he's going to go for the Mega Horn, and he lands another one. So now I have to go into Tyranitar. I have a chance to live one Scarf to Mega Horn, and there's also the chance that he misses. So I'm pretty free to just fire off a Banded Crunch, I think I went for, because after Sand and the Banded Crunch damage, this thing would die. So I'm just hoping, praying that this thing's going to miss or I can live on a roll. It's like a 62% chance to kill me, so it's not looking good in my favor, but he's already landed 4 Mega Horn something, and maybe he'll just miss one because, you know, maybe he's not. He's going to land another one and it's going to fucking kill me. So all I have is Superior left, and at this point I'm not going to win unless he misses another one. So I'm going to go for the Glare right here, because if he misses, then I want to make sure that I can kill him. And all that I can hope for is he misses, and he doesn't. So I lose, and that was garbage, because there was really nothing I could have done in that scenario. I had my answer to Heracross, and it got critted, and then I had absolutely nothing for Heracross, and it doesn't help me that he landed 5 consecutive Mega Horns and also got a damage roll in his favor. So that sucks for sure. There was no way I was going to lose that game if I had my Sylveon alive. It just beat his whole team, and I was outplaying him, and I had more Mons on my side than he did, and it was just a better situation for me. So yeah, I got jagged in that game, which sucks. I definitely would have won. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that it would have gone elsewhere. But shit happens. Still in playoffs, and I'm just upset about that, but maybe I'll get to kick his ass in playoffs. So yeah, that's that, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.